रेटिकुलर एन्डोथेलियल सिस्टमबाट चाहिँ डिराइभ भएको हुन्छ है। अनि अब यो बोन म्यारो पनि टिल 20 years of age चाहिँ the long bones as well as the membranous bones, they contribute to formation of the blood cells, right? So after 20 years, say the long bones ma bhako red bone marrow will be displaced by the yellow bone marrow, right? And that is why after 20 years, say membranous bones बाट मात्र त्यो blood cells formed हुन्छ, as well as अब कुनै long bones proximal part बाट पनि proximal ends बाट पनि there will be formation of the blood cells, right? So after 20 years, say there will be displacement of the red bone marrow into fatty bone marrow, because of which from the long bones there is no formation of the blood cells except for the proximal ends of the long bones, of certain long bones basically. And then primarily it is the membranous bones like vertebrae and then ribs, त्यो बोन्सहरुबाट membranous बोन्सहरुबाट नै blood cells form हुन थाल्छ after 20 years, है। किनभने cellularity of the bone marrow decreases as an individual ages, right? And the red bone marrow is replaced by the yellow bone marrow, that is fatty tissue replaced गर्न थाल्छ, because of which membranous bones contribute to formation of the blood cells after the age of 20. And before that, that is after birth and before 20 years, both the long bones as well as membranous bone, they play a role in formation of all the blood cells. Okay? Okay, let's go through the steps of hematopoiesis. So hematopoiesis, there is presence of these pluripotent hemopoietic stem cells, or it's like say pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells, PHSC. So your pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells, they are present in the bone marrow itself, and then they have the ability to divide and differentiate, okay, into various colony forming units, right? Or into other types of stem cells. Okay? So these pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells has the ability to divide and differentiate into any other type of cells. Right? So yeah, if you look at the picture, then you can see that many pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells differentiate into progenitor cells or committed cells like colony forming unit S, and then lymphoid stem cell LSC. Right? So these are the lymphoid stem cells which are differentiated from this pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells which are present in the bone marrow itself. And after birth, मात्र कुरा गरिरहेको छौं यसमा extra uterine life को मात्र कुरा गरिरहेको छौं, steps of hematopoiesis. With reference to steps of hematopoiesis, we are only talking about the extra uterine life, है, after birth को कुरा गरिरहेको छ। So when the pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells divides and differentiates, they form particular type of colony forming unit. That is, particular type of stem cells are formed from this pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells. They have the ability to divide into any types of cell. Okay? So, एउटा यस्तो particular type of cell मा divide हुन्छ भन्ने छैन, है? So they form colony forming unit S, and then they also form this lymphoid stem cell, right? And so some amount or some number of pluripotent hemopoietic stem cells, they remain undifferentiated, right? So some pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells remain undifferentiated. Arrow दिएर देखाएको छ. So these pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells remain in the bone marrow and they are undifferentiated, and they differentiate when the time comes, right? So as the pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells differentiate into myeloid stem cell and lymphoid stem cell, these myeloid stem cells differentiate into committed stem cells, which are committed to form particular type of blood cell, like colony forming unit blast. Right? So CFU, colony forming unit blast, CFUB, or let's say the other name for this is blast forming unit E, erythrocytes पनि भन्छ है. So BFUE पनि भनिरहेको हुन्छ यसको नाम, अर्को चाहिँ CFUB भनेर पनि कुनै बुक्सहरूले चाहिँ दिएको हुन्छ. I have taken this picture from Guyton. Okay? So colony forming unit blast cells, these are committed committed stem cells which differentiates into a particular group of cells which are the erythrocytes. Okay? So the same CFUS for different types of cells are differentiated as you can see here. So they differentiate into committed stem cell which is colony forming unit B, colony forming unit GM, and colony forming unit megakaryocyte or M. Okay, so CFUM. So these myeloid stem cell के आउने रहेछ त CFUB, CFUGM, colony forming unit GM which is granulocyte and monocyte, and then colony forming unit M which is CFU megakaryocytes. Right? So these are the committed stem cells. They are committed to form particular type of blood cells. So colony forming unit divides and differentiates into colony forming unit E, which ultimately forms erythrocytes. CFUE बाट चाहिँ pro-erythroblast cells form हुन्छ. Pro-erythroblast cells early normoblast, intermediate normoblast, late normoblast, त्यस्तै गरेर reticulocytes and finally those reticulocytes mature into erythrocytes. Right? So there are various steps in formation of erythrocytes, which is known as erythropoiesis. So if you have to write about the steps of erythropoiesis, then you have to start from pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells, which differentiates into myeloid stem cell, which then differentiate into committed stem cell, which are the colony forming unit B, and then it differentiates into CFUE, and then ultimately they are between CFUE and erythrocytes, there are various steps in between, and ultimately the reticulocyte matures into erythrocyte. अब हामी यो स्टेप्सहरु पढ्छौं erythropoiesisमा है. अब त्यसपछि let me talk to you about the other committed cells which proliferate from myeloid stem cells. Your myeloid stem cells differentiate now above. In addition to the proliferation or division of pluripotent hematopoietic stem cell into myeloid stem cell, they also differentiate into lymphoid stem cell, which in turn differentiates into T lymphocytes as well as B lymphocytes. Right? So we'll be talking about each of these processes of hematopoiesis or each of the types of hematopoiesis as we move on with our later chapters. Okay, so this is just the basic. Now, let's talk about erythropoiesis. Okay, so erythropoiesis is one of the very important topic from exam point of view as well. You can have questions about erythropoiesis with reference to MCQ questions, SAQs मा पनि सोधिन्छ. So this is very important from exam point of view. Okay? So erythropoiesis, it is the process of formation of red blood cells. These are the stages of erythropoiesis. So Augie, we had briefly talked about the steps of hematopoiesis, overall steps. Now let's move to erythropoiesis in particular, and it comprises of all these stages, right? So pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells divides and differentiates into myeloid stem cell, which in turn differentiates into committed stem cells, which are colony forming unit B. The other name for colony forming unit B is BFUE, that is blast forming unit erythrocytes. The blast forming unit erythrocytes again differentiates into colony forming unit erythrocytes, which in turn differentiates into pro-erythroblast cells. The pro-erythroblast cells are also known as pro-normoblast. Okay, so this is the pro-erythroblast cell, which is also known as pro-normoblast cell, which in turn again divides and differentiates into early normoblast cell. The early normoblast cell is also known as basophilic erythroblast, which ultimately forms intermediate normoblast cell, which is also known as polychromatophil erythroblast cell. Then they divide into late normoblast cell. The late normoblast cell is also known as orthochromatic erythroblast cell. Then they develop into reticulocyte. The reticulocytes in turn mature into erythrocytes. Right? So if you look at the genesis of red blood cell, what are the differences that you see? Or what are the changes that you see? Etike superficially heर्ने just look at the picture. Picture heर्ने what are the differences that you see? Look at the size of the cell. Initially proerythroblast cell को size हेर त त्यसपछि erythrocytes को size हेर. Is there decrease in size or not? Yes, there is. Right? So there is decrease in the size of the cell. In addition to that, our basophil erythroblast, polychromatophil erythroblast, orthochromatic, these names, they basically refer to the stain that these cells take. So basophil stain they take up basic stain. Right? So they take up this bluish stain. The cytoplasm take up the bluish stain initially when it is in basophil state. Right? So your stage the stain taken by the erythroblast cell is different. But as it matures or as it develops into intermediate normoblast cell or late normoblast cell, then look at the stain taken by the cell. Right? So polychromatophil they take up both dubai stain, basic as well as acidic stain. Right? It's the orthochromatic they take a pinkish stain, right? So they take acidic stain. And then reticulocyte, the name itself. Okay, in addition to that, if you look at the nucleus, initially there's a big nucleus, this nucleus size and after some time or at this particular stage, you can see no nucleus at all. Right? So it is non-nucleated as it ultimately matures into erythrocytes. Right? Then reticulocyte stage, there's a presence of reticulum, but ultimately as it matures into erythrocytes, your reticular network is present with them. Okay, so there are various changes that occurs in the structure or occurs in the red blood cell as it proliferates or as it matures into erythrocytes. So we'll be going to each of this step now, from pro-erythroblast stage to erythrocyte cells. Okay, your subbig changes are these are occurring in the bone marrow itself. Okay? So in the pro-normoblast or pro-erythroblast stage, the cell size is 15 to 20 micron. The size of the nucleus is 12 micron. Hemoglobin is absent in this stage. The cytoplasm takes up deep violet color. The cytoplasm is deep violet color in the pro-normoblast cell. Of cell size is 15 to 20 micron. Okay? Hemoglobin is absent. Cytoplasm is deep violet in color. Now, after pro-normoblast cell, the other step or the pro-normoblast cell differentiates or divides into early normoblast cell. This is also known as early erythroblast cell or basophil erythroblast when you want to say cell line. Look at the cell size. It is 11 to 17 micron. So, poila 15 to 20 micron to initially pro-normoblast cell. Now, the size of the cell has decreased to 11 to 17 micron. The size of the nucleus is also decreased to 10 micron. The nucleoli disappears. The chromatin network, they are fine and fine chromatin network present. It shows a few nodes of condensation. And during this stage, mitosis occurs. Okay, so mitosis bhairako हुन्छ यो stage. Now, intermediate normoblast cell, or it is also known as late erythroblast stage. Anyway, so intermediate normoblast cell matter, this is also known as polychromatophil erythroblast stage. The cell size has even decreased to 10 to 14 micron. The nucleus, it shows further condensation. Hemoglobin increases in this stage. Okay? So hemoglobin increases in this stage. The cytoplasm is polychromatic appearance. That is, it has both different types of stain present. That is acidic or basic stain. दुवै लिने हुनाले चाहिँ यसलाई polychromatic भनेको. The chromatin network shows further condensation and mitosis is also occurring during this stage. Now, late normoblast stage matching, the size of the cell is 7 to 10 micron. Hemoglobin has gradually increased. Cytoplasm takes up eosinophilic stain, that is pinkish stain in a thalcha. Then the chromatin network assumes cartwheel appearance. Mitosis has now ceased. By this stage, the mitosis ceases. A late normoblast stage, summer. Now the mitosis has now ceased. The nucleus becomes dense and it takes up a stain looking like a drop of ink. That is pycnotic appearance dekhana thalcha. And ultimately it breaks down and there is disappearance of nucleus. Okay? So nucleus ultimately disappears during this stage. Now in the reticular stage, there's presence of reticular-like network. A network of reticulum is present in the cytoplasm. This might be, it is often said in book that it might be endoplasmic reticulum. And as the RBC ages, the reticulum also disappears and the nucleus is absent. Nucleus, the time there is disappearance of nucleus in the late normoblast cells itself. So reticulocyte pani, obviously there is no nucleus, there is presence of this reticulum, which is due to the presence of endoplasmic reticulum. And as the RBC ages, this reticulum also disappears as it matures into a normal erythrocyte, which is circular, non-nucleated, biconcave disc, and has an average diameter of 7 micron. And the time taken for the proliferation of pro-erythroblast cell to reticulocyte cell is 7 days, and from reticulocyte to mature RBC is 2 days. Right? So sometimes reticulocytes they can move or they can pass through the capillary endothelium and enter the blood before it matures into normal erythrocytes. Right? So there is, if there is less than 1% of the reticulocytes in blood, then that is normal. Right? Only then the other thing is you need to remember this time that is from pro-erythroblast cell to reticulocyte, it takes about 7 days to finally proliferate into reticulocyte, and from reticulocyte to erythrocyte cells, it takes about 2 days. Okay? Now let's talk about the regulation of erythropoiesis. Okay? So we've talked about those various stages, and those stages are even explained in various books. You're saying it's given in Indian writer books, right? Rather than regular Gaitan Ganang Banda Pani, so hematocrit topics are, it's better explained or it's better elaborated in books written by Indian writers. Okay? So you can go through those books like A.K. Jain and Bislani. They talk about hematology in detail, right? Whereas Gaitan Ganong Matazon specifically cardiovascular system में blood as a circulatory medium भनेर दिएको छ, right? So basically you can go through those two books by Indian authors. Okay, so regulation of erythropoiesis, it can be regulated by various factors. Under general factors come all these factors. General factors, there are other factors as well. Let me go through these factors first. Factors for hemoglobin synthesis are the other factors. Then there's maturation factors. So these all are the factors that regulate erythropoiesis. Okay, so let's go through each of these factors now. Under general factors come diet, like high protein value supplies essential amino acids for synthesis of globin portion of the hemoglobin. So that is one factor that comes under general factor. Then the other factor which is of prime importance is hypoxia. Hypoxia whenever there is deficiency in oxygen supply, then that is known as hypoxia. Okay? So it is a potent stimulus for RBC production. Hypoxia enhances the liberation of erythropoietin hormone. Erythropoietin is a hormone from kidney which stimulates bone marrow for erythropoiesis. Okay? So hypoxia is one of the inducers for erythropoiesis, right? Differentiation inducers for erythropoiesis. It enhances the formation or for the liberation of erythropoietin hormone. Erythropoietin is a hormone which is liberated from kidneys. Kidneys को पनि interstitial cells present in the cortical and medullary areas of the kidney बाट चाहिँ erythropoietin hormones are released which stimulates the bone marrow for erythropoiesis. Okay, we'll be going through the details of this equation, right? How hypoxia causes the release of erythropoietin hormone from kidney. अहिले second slide मा जाउँला. So erythropoietin is a hormone released from kidney. It stimulates bone marrow for erythropoiesis. In addition to these hormones, अब ACTH ले पनि erythropoiesis लाई stimulate गर्छ भन्छ. त्यस्तै गरेर अरू endocrine hormones like thyroid hormones also stimulate erythropoiesis भनेर different books मा दिएको छ. अनि in addition to this, अब अर्को growth inducersहरूमा चाहिँ यो interleukin 1, interleukin 3, interleukin 6, and then GM-CSF, granulocyte macrophage colony stimulating factor, erythro helps in development of relevant erythroid stem cells. Okay, so your certain interleukins as well as colony stimulating factors, they also help as growth inducers in the development of erythroid stem cells. Now let's talk about the erythropoietin hormone, which is released by a stimulus, that is hypoxia. Hypoxia is decrease in oxygen delivery at the level of the tissue. Okay? So erythropoietin is a glycoprotein hormone. It is a principal hormone that stimulates RBC production in low oxygen states. So what are the low oxygen states? Okay, so they include about कुन कारणले गर्दाखेरि low oxygenation हुन सक्छ त, whenever there is low blood volume, in anemia, the hemoglobin count decreases, whenever there is poor blood flow, and even in pulmonary diseases, there is decreased oxygenation. Right? So your oxygenation or decreased oxygen present in the blood decreases tissue oxygenation as well. So renal perfusion or renal blood flow, or let's say kidneys now, blood supply हुन्छ त्यहाँ जाने bloodमा पनि obviously there is decrease in oxygen concentration in the blood that goes through the kidney. So this is recognized by the cells present in the kidney, which are the interstitial cells, and they release this erythropoietin hormone. Right? So from the kidneys, the erythropoietin hormone is released. Right? Whenever there is decreased tissue oxygenation or whenever there is decreased oxygen in the blood, this is recognized. The kidneys, the cells in the kidney recognize that, and then they release erythropoietin hormone, which in turn causes the differentiation of hematopoietic stem cells into committed stem cell, which is CFUE, and CFU in turn divides and differentiates into proerythroblasts. Right? So this the hypoxia stimulates kidney, and then they release a substance called renal erythropoietic factor in the blood, which in turn causes the release of erythropoietin hormone. The erythropoietin hormone in turn acts on the stem cells of the bone marrow, and then the stem cells are then converted into proerythroblast cells. So they actually are the growth inducers, which actually help in differentiation of hematopoietic stem cells into proerythroblast cells. And simultaneously, they also help in conversion of proerythroblast to later stages of erythroblastic phases. है भन्नुको मतलब प्रोएरिथ्रोब्लास्टबाट red blood cells are proliferate हुनलाई पनि झन् rapid गराइदिन्छ त्यो process. है so it also helps in the conversion process to occur rapidly. Okay, so it all helps in conversion of proerythroblasts to other stages of erythroblastic process to occur rapidly than they normally do. Okay, so normally जुन time लगाउँथ्यो RBC बनाउनलाई from proerythroblast cells to red blood cells, यो इरिथ्रोपोइटिन हर्मोनले चाहिँ यो स्टेजेसहरूलाई क्रस गराउन चाहिँ इट decreases that time limit, or it helps in rapidly doing those processes in between. So they help the proerythroblast to pass more rapidly through different erythroblastic stages than they normally do, as stated in the slide. Okay? So यो proerythroblasटबाट RBC बनाउन पनि यो प्रोसेसलाई ऱ्यापिड गराइदिन्छ. In addition, the erythropoietin hormone also acts at this stage, that is for conversion of hematopoietic stem cells into proerythroblast stage. They have this action at this process as well. Okay? So here you can see these are the developing erythrocytes in the red bone marrow. Whenever there is reduced oxygen carrying capacity, okay, or whenever there is decrease in the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood, this is recognized by the kidney as well. किनभने किडनीमा पनि perfusion हुन्छ, किडनीमा पनि blood flow हुन्छ. So your reduced oxygen in the blood is recognized by the kidney too, and from the kidney they secrete erythropoietin into the blood. Erythropoietin stimulates erythropoiesis by bone marrow, thus causing additional circulating erythrocytes into the blood, which increases the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. किनभने 98.5% of the oxygen is carried by binding with hemoglobin, which is present in the red blood cell. So this increases the oxygen carrying capacity, thus relieves the initial stimulus that triggered erythropoietin secretion. Okay, so when the oxygen carrying capacity increases, then this relieves that initial stimulus that actually caused kidney to release erythropoietin hormone. Okay. Now, that was about the general factors. Now let's move to the factors which are required for hemoglobin synthesis. This includes iron, copper and magnesium, cobalt, and calcium. Iron is essential for hem formation. Vitamin C, cobalt, manganese, and copper catalyze this reaction. So hem formation, iron, you know that the hem molecule comprises of ferrous at the center of it, right? So ferrous or iron is essential for hem formation, and the vitamin C, cobalt, manganese, and copper catalyze these reactions. Copper and magnesium help in conversion of iron to hemoglobin by catalytic reaction. Cobalt influences the activity of copper and magnesium, and calcium helps in absorption of iron from GIT. So all these are required for hemoglobin synthesis. Sometimes you might be asked this question about what are the factors that are required for hemoglobin synthesis, and you can be given all these options: iron, manganese, copper, cobalt, none of the above, all of the above. You have to write all of the above. अब यो मध्ये कुनै एउटा different substance अथवा different vitamin कुनै अरु नै vitamin राख्दियो अप्सनमा भने you have to tick mark that. अब कुनै यो बाहेकको अरु कुनै element राख्दियो भने you have to tick mark that. So all of the following help in the synthesis of hemoglobin except भनेर सोध्न सकिन्छ. So this is a good question for MCQ. Okay? Now let's move to maturation factor. Maturation factors मा चाहिँ आउँछ vitamin B12, folic acid, and intrinsic factor of Castle. The intrinsic factor of Castle say it helps in absorption of vitamin B12 from the gut. That is why it helps in maturation of red blood cells. The intrinsic factor of Castle has GI mucosal cells or let's say GI को parietal cells form so parietal cells HCl plus intrinsic factor release गराउँछ. So whenever there is any atrophy of the gastric glands, then intrinsic factor of Castle को secretion पनि घट्छ, जसको कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ vitamin B12 cannot be absorbed from the terminal ileum. Okay? So vitamin B12 चाहिँ ileum बाट absorb हुन्छ. And for the absorption of vitamin B12, intrinsic factor of Castle is important. Okay? So intrinsic factor of Castle bhaena भने vitamin B12 absorb हुँदैन, thus RBC को maturation हुन पाउँदैन है. So vitamin B12 deficiency हुन जान्छ त्यो बेलामा. Intrinsic factor of Castle less secrete भयो भने पनि. Okay? So let's talk about the role of vitamin B12 now. Vitamin B12 is essential for final maturation of RBC. It helps in production of DNA by converting nucleotide to a deoxynucleotide, thus helping in nuclear maturation and differentiation. Okay, so it helps in DNA formation, which ultimately causes nuclear maturation and differentiation. And in the absence of vitamin B12, it causes megaloblastic anemia. So vitamin B12 deficiency, it leads to an anemia which is known as megaloblastic anemia, and the size of the cells is very large in this type of anemia. So that is why the name megaloblastic anemia is given. And megaloblastic anemia, the RBC are very fragile in megaloblastic anemia since they are very large in size. As they pass through the capillaries go lumen, it's very small, right? So as they pass through the lumen, because of its large size, it can easily break down, right? So RBC can easily break down, and then it ultimately lyses, lysis हुन जान्छ, right? So since the size of the cell is very large, so vitamin B12 ले चाहिँ maturation मा help गर्ने रहेछ, RBC को maturation मा help गर्छ. In addition to this vitamin B12, folic acid is also important for the final maturation of the red blood cell. It acts as a coenzyme for the synthesis of DNA bases, thus helping maturation of RBC. So folic acid and vitamin B12, they both are important in maturation of the red blood cells. And the intrinsic factor of Castle becomes important because it helps in absorption of vitamin B12 from the ileum. यतिकै vitamin B12 directly ileumबाट absorb हुन सक्दैन. For vitamin B12 to be absorbed from the small intestine, that is from the ileal part of the small intestine, it requires it to be bound to IF, intrinsic factor. Okay, so when there is gastric atrophy, gastric parietal cellsहरू atrophy भयो भने चाहिँ intrinsic factor को secretion नै कम हुन्छ, जसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ there is no maturation of the red blood cells as well, and this can lead to pernicious anemia. Okay, now let's move to another topic, which is the red blood cells. Okay, so let's move to the structure and functions of the red blood cells. We will just be talking about the properties or the structure of the red blood cells, and then we'll be moving to its function. So erythrocytes, and the erythropoiesis polysubcum, I want you to go through those steps of erythropoiesis. You might be asked, like, kun step of erythropoiesis mitosis does not occur. Okay? Mitosis ends. Or mitosis kun stage of erythropoiesis देखि चाहिँ हुँदैन. अथवा let's say reticulocyte stage मा चाहिँ how is the appearance of the cell भनेर सोध्न सकिन्छ. त्यस्तै गरेर अर्को question might be, as the stages of erythropoiesis progresses, what are the probable changes that occur in the structure of the cell? Our cell size decreases, there is cessation of mitosis, there is appearance of hemoglobin. So you sabai or out of nowhere एउटा different खालको जुन activity हुँदैन त्यो दिन सकिन्छ in MCQ, and then you have to tick mark that except भन्ने question आयो भने all of the following occurs during steps of erythropoiesis except भनेर सोध्यो भने तीनवटा मिल्ने दिन्छ अनि एउटा bizarre टाइपको कतै नमिल्ने खालको कुरा दिन सकिन्छ. So this might be a good question even in MCQ. So steps हरु चाहिँ कन्फर्म पार्नुपर्छ. Okay, so there's nothing except there's nothing you can do except to mug all the changes that occur during various stages of erythropoiesis. Right? So you have to mug those things up. Now let's move to structure of erythrocytes. So this is the structure of erythrocytes, which looks like a circular, non-nucleated, biconcave disc. अनि यसलाई चाहिँ डोनटसँग पनि कम्पेयर गराएको छ कुनै कुनै बुक्सहरूले डोनट अनि सेन्ट्रली चाहिँ डिप्रेस्ड पार्ट डोनटमा सेन्ट्रली होल हुन्छ यसमा चाहिँ सेन्ट्रली होल हुँदैन सेन्ट्रली चाहिँ इट्स डिप्रेस्ड एट द सेन्टर है सो इट्स कम्पेयर्ड विथ अ डोनट इन भेरियस बुक्स विथ द सेन्टर क्लोज्ड सेन्टरमा चाहिँ डिप्रेसन टाइपको हुन्छ whereas डोनटमा त सेन्टरमा देयर इज अ होल and then its shape is biconcave. Its size is between 7 to 8 micron. That is the diameter of the cell. And if you have to give an average, then it comes up to be 7.5 micron. Its thickness at the periphery is 2 micron. Periphery 2 micron. And at the center, it is 1 micron. अनि यो यसको स्ट्रक्चर यस्तो हुनुको कारण चाहिँ यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ what how does it help the erythrocytes to do its function भन्दाखेरि why is this type of structure important for erythrocytes so your particular biconcave disc like cell is important for the function of RBC को function के हो oxygen को carriage right so RBC helps in transport of the oxygen from lungs to the tissue. So for its transport of oxygen हुनको लागि के हुन्छ त oxygen from alveoli enters or binds with the hemoglobin present in the red blood cell. So कुन process बाट यो oxygen चाहिँ lungs बाट or alveoli बाट RBC मा जान्छ त by the process of diffusion right so oxygen by the process of diffusion along the pressure gradient enters the RBC so diffusion like affect गर्ने factor one of the factor is surface area so since the surface area of the red blood cell is large that is why it can easily allow the oxygen from alveoli to get bound with the hemoglobin present within the red blood cell. Right? And in addition to that, your biconcave shape also becomes important because the red blood cells has to pass through those small capillaries. That is why this type of shape becomes important because it can squeeze through the capillary lumen. Now its surface area is 140 square micron. The volume of the erythrocytes, that is mean corpuscular volume MCV, is equal to 87 cubic micron, and the range for MCV is between 78 to 94 cubic micron. The lifespan of red blood cell is 120 days, and each RBC contains approximately 29 picogram hemoglobin or 34% of hemoglobin per cell. So each RBC comprises of 34% of hemoglobin per cell. Now, about the red blood cell count, in an adult male, there is an average of 5.2 million per cubic millimeter of blood. That is about the normal count of the range of the normal count. It is between 4.5 to 6 millions per cubic millimeter of blood. In an adult female, it is slightly less. It is 4 to 5.5 million per cubic millimeter of blood. The average comes up to be 4.7. Newborns are body हुन्छ 6 to 8 million per cubic millimeter of blood, and children decreases to 3 to 5 million per cubic millimeter of blood. So the average or normal count is important. Okay? This you have to mug up. Decrease in RBC count is known as anemia. We'll have a separate class for anemia. Increase in RBC count is known as polycythemia. We'll have a different class for this too. And they will be dealt in detail even in pathology, I guess. So red blood cell composition mass 62% of the red blood cell comprise of water, 35% hemoglobin, and other substances, 2.5% which comprise of glucose, lipids, proteins, and then enzymes. Now, these are the characteristics of RBC. The hematocrit, that is the percentage representation of the blood cells is known as hematocrit, but primarily blood cells are 99% RBC. So, let's say RBC ke percentage like dekhauncha hematocrit. So, in male it is 47 and in female it is 42. Red blood cells 5.4 million per cubic millimeter in male, in female 4.8 million per cubic millimeter of blood. Hemoglobin, this is represented in gram per deciliter. In male it is 16 gram per deciliter and in female it is 14 gram per deciliter, and if you have to give a range, add plus minus 2. 16 plus minus 2 male math, that is 14 to 18 gram per deciliter. Female ma pani 14 plus minus 2 राख्दियो भने that will give you the range, average range, normal range. Average भन्दा पनि normal, average values त यही देखाएको भयो. So mean corpuscular volume is represented by this formula. हामी यो सबै formula पछि फेरि एकचोटि पढ्नुपर्छ. So त्यति बेलामा फेरि पढौला. अहिले just remember MCV is represented in femtoliter and it is 87. Mean corpuscular hemoglobin is represented in picogram, and this is given by the formula hemoglobin upon RBC into 10. Then the mean corpuscular hemoglobin comes up to be 29 picogram. Mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration is given by this formula. Hemoglobin upon hematocrit into 100. So 34 ounce. They become important when we differentiate the various types of anemia. So the mean cell diameter is 7.5 micron. The functions of RBC. Now, what's the time? Is it time now? So it's almost time. Function, I mean, next class ma padhaula hai. Is it okay if we carry on with the function in the next class?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll stop here, and I'll not be